Okay, guys. Hey, it's Shay Love, and I'm going to be doing a review for Ravenswood season 1, episode 9. Along came a spider. It starts off with Luke and Liv with their mother at their father's grave, and there's a lady basically towards the end, not towards the end, towards the beginning of the episode when it really starts. She has spiders coming out of her face. Well, a spider coming out of her face. I think it was a black. No, if it was a black one, I was seeing the red thing. It's a black spider. I just know that. There's a detective that comes and arrests their mom. Liv and Luke is at the city hall, not police department. That's what I put. They're at the city hall talking and trying to figure out how to get their mom out of the little cell that's in the city hall. Luke brings up Luke brings up a bet, the bet, or whatever happened, and Collins arrives at City Hall to try to help figure out how to help them out. Anyway, Caleb's first day at the new high school, and two girls call him a weirdo because he's talking to Miranda at the time, and Miranda defends him by opening the lockers and slamming the books on the floor. Yeah. Liv and Luke talk to their mom about what's going on, and their mom asks Liv to watch Luke. Remy shows up and Luke and her talk. Mr. Price talks to Caleb about Luke and other stuff with Mr. Collins, and he brings up the small chapel, and basically Mr. Collins chases him away because he's trying to do something for somebody else. Dylan shows up and they talk about where he's been. She talks to Dylan about Springer, about what Springer told her that he basically told Springer to put the knife in their yard. And Dylan basically tries to butter her up and say that it wasn't him. I didn't tell him to do that. Blah blah blah. Whatever. I got some notes here. Okay. Remy goes and talks to Springer about Liv and Luke, and she's trying to get him to talk about. Basically, she's trying to get him to talk, and then she found out that Dylan never left, and she makes a deal with Springer. Caleb and Miranda talk about their past. Talk about the priest, and Springer also. Anyway, Springer also what's the call? Oh, the priest and Springer, and also Collins comes up with an option to they come up with a way to distract Collins so Caleb can get into the chapel. Had to read what I wrote. Okay. Luke and Liv talk about not getting help, and he doesn't believe. Well, basically, Liv was like talking about getting help from Collins, and Luke doesn't want to, and also she basically says that their mom doesn't believe that you believe in her, that she didn't do it. And then she brings up Dylan, and he found out those two, was doing fine. They were getting it. Okay. Collins talks to Liv's mom about their past, and he is trying to help. Miranda's watching him for Caleb's reasons. Yeah. Caleb goes to Collins' room to get the key, and then, it's like a horror game. You do something freaky happens, then you leave, and then you're scared for the rest of the day. But he was a little paralyzed because, he almost been bombed. So, yeah. Remy is looking at Springer's dad case, and Remy knows what happened, finds out what happens with Liv and Dylan through Luke. Liv goes to talk to Mr. Collins about Mr. Collins, even though her first plan was to talk to Caleb, but since Caleb was out of commission for her at that moment, yeah. Miranda tells her about Mr. Collins and her mom and their past or whatever. Remy and her dad talk about Luke's mom's case and how he feels about the Springer thing. And, well, basically, let's see how to put this. Basically, he knows that he feels like he shouldn't have put it about. There were not some truthful things about Springer's father's case and all this stuff, or whatever. Remy and Springer talk about what she wrote and that he wanted Remy to print out what she put. Luke and Mr. Price talk. Caleb goes to the chapel and Miranda spots a spider on him. I think it's a yellow recluse, if I'm not mistaken. Then again, I don't study spiders. I don't like spiders. I don't care for them. And he gets it off himself. And there's a light through the stained glass, and it's all the last names of the 6 men. But it doesn't make sense because there's only 5 people in the car. 6 men, 5 people. Yeah. And also, the last names are Scudder, Sanders, Rivers, Dalton, Waterman, and Baker. Collins and Matheson is not up there. So basically, something's not adding right. And also, they're trying to put together that Dalton's name, I think, is Sanders. Last name is Sanders, if I'm not mistaken, I think it is. Remy gets confronted by her father about what she printed in the paper and that he took her off the paper. Caleb and Miranda and Liv talk about what they found out. Dylan and Luke talk. He tells Luke that you can't hurt him and that he has backup, and also that he put Liv up so he can live. Even though I don't think Dylan's living anyway. I don't know I don't know about Dylan. I don't know what the hell he is. Then he goes into the steam showers, he gets choked up, and then he goes on his way home. Caleb goes back to the chapel to look at the names, but the lady with the fucking spiders comes and covers spiders with a whole bunch of tarantulas. Liv's mom is back, and Luke talks to Liv about what Dylan told him. Luke basically told Liv that Dylan doesn't really care, and also that he put you up to die instead of him. You know, since Liv had sex with him, she's trying not to believe that. Yeah, she's blindsided a little bit. Remy is walking, there's a newspaper flying, and then there's a dead kid show up, and then she sees Mr. Cullen and Dylan talking, and then they drive off once they realize Remy's there. Yeah, so that's that episode. Any comments? If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. Also, subscribe, like the video, tell me what you think. Yeah.